Hi guys. Hopefully my mic is on. It looks like it's on. Hopefully there's not a ton of tech issues today like there were yesterday. I know it's later than I usually stream and I've got a good ass reason for that. I am ridiculously I know it's later than I usually to do a stream and I got good ass the best fucking news. Which is really, really just fantastic. So I'm going to post in the Discord. And if you're not on our Discord server, you should join us. We have a really great hobby community there. It's growing every day. I announce when I'm streaming. We talk about cats and television shows and all kinds of nonsense. So you can hop on there and check us out. Hey! The desk is bright? You need a refund? What are you talking about? Josh, you funded this light. The desk light! Look, you can see all of the details of Party Boy. Look at him in all of his weird glory. We might be painting him up on stream. I'm really excited about how he looks. Initially, I was going to paint him in a color scheme reminiscent of the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth. As you can see, my efforts to save this scale 75 paint are not great. It's kind of looking like some Nickelodeon slime has happened there. You know what? We're gonna reseal that. I'm gonna use the top of the plastic bag as a paint palette tonight so that can stay sealed, because I don't know if I'm painting Tower or not tonight. We're gonna figure that out. Very excitement. There's a lot of stuff. You just got done painting. Yeah, I know. I'm streaming later than I usually do. Like I said, there's a good reason for that. I was playing Borderlands with some friends. And these are my good friends, my Irish lads that I hang out with. One of them, Mark, has painted minis before. But the other one, my good friend Adam, hater of squigs, absolutely the quickest person I know with a quip, though. So quick-witted. But he has actually started painting a miniature partially on my recommendation. He painted a goblin from a board game. So, I'm really excited just because someone that I enjoy talking to and hanging out with is giving one of the hobbies that I enjoy and love most in the world a shot. Like, that's so cool. I may have pulled someone into this hobby slightly, and like, that is not, it's not a feeling I expected to be experiencing so directly anytime soon. So I'm just so fucking excited about it. So I said I'd be talking about that on stream, hence the title of the stream, which just has Adam's name and that he should click on this one, because I told him, like, we literally stopped talking. It's fucking 3 a.m. for him, so he better the fuck be asleep. But I told him that I would be talking about how excited I was that he had started to paint minis on this channel tonight, and stuff like that. So, like, yeah, it's just a good day. I'm very excited to try out this slightly new streaming setup as well. Who would have guessed that being able to fucking see what I am painting is this helpful? Like, excuse me? Who is this? Whose desk is this in which we can fucking see the thing on camera? It's actually maybe a little too bright. We can see if we can adjust that, but I mean, the focus isn't great. I don't know how to fucking autofocus or not autofocus or make droid camera less dumb. Which, you know, that'll be figured out eventually. But lighting, we fucking got the lights. Thank you, Josh, for making me do a dumb impression on yesterday's stream. That directly paid for this light. the light bulb, and then I've got a rug beneath my hobby space now that catches the miniature parts that I inevitably throw down there. If you're a frequent viewer of this channel, you know how often miniature bits end up on the floor. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just really fucking jazzed. Party Boy got primed. He's ready. We built him together yesterday, out of monster bits and stuff like that. And it's a good day. I started playing the pre-sequel for Borderlands, and spoiler alert, I guess, for anyone who hasn't played that game. And also spoiler alert for people in the chat who want to talk about that game. Don't give me any spoilers, because I'm only I don't know, maybe 2 hours in. But you can play as Claptrap, the little robot, and you can go jumping around the moon, and everything's in space, and the colors are really just fucking magnificent. They're so nice. They're so much nicer than, the desert color palettes, and not everything is all grungy. It's space, and there's neon lighting and shit like that. So that's what we're gonna be trying to capture here. I was staring at the menu screen for a good long while, and just kind of taking in all the beautiful color palettes. And initially I was gonna paint Party Boy up to be reminiscent of the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth, but now that I have in effect my own reason to be celebrating, my own reason to throw a party for Party Boy, we're gonna be painting him up like some of the moon atmosphere on Borderlands, and we'll give him a moon base too. So Party Boy is going on the moon. That's where he's gonna party next. He's gonna party with the moon men and whatever else is out there. I mean, the moon exists in Warhammer, I think. It still exists. I don't know if it exists. The bad moon is what the goblins follow around. So the moon definitely exists in Age of Sigmar. Yeah, so that's where Party Boy's headed. Anyway, that was a lot of words that I just threw at you, almost in a ceaseless barrage. Apologies if that was a lot to take in. Like I said, lots of enthusiasm tonight. Can't hold it back even slightly. Just been a day full of fun little surprises. And I left the house today. I had stuff to do in the morning. I had paint that I had to go out and buy. Which I did. I did go to the hobby store today. I bought Kislev flesh because I had run out and I needed it for my key lime pie towel. It's definitely a central color to their scheme, so I bought more of that. But yeah, if you're working on something, let me know what you're working on in the chat. I think, Josh, you had said you had just finished up painting something. What did you paint up tonight? I'd love to know. I think Jeremy in our Discord server was working on a Marvel Crisis Protocol miniature. He painted up Hulkbuster, which was cool to see. I don't think he's done just yet, but it's looking really good. I'm intentionally using a shitty dollar store brush today, which you can see probably that it's not a good quality brush, but it is effective and it's getting the job done. This is directly because I heard about the brushes that Adam was using to paint his first miniature, and they're definitely not exactly what you would ideally want for the hobby. But dollar store brushes that aren't pre-ruined by glue and use in other craft projects are gonna do you just fine. These ones have only been used to paint miniatures. Of course, I do have nice miniature paint because I'm fucking pretentious and I mean, I'd use craft paint, but I only own 2 or 3 bottles of it, and it's not in the colors that I need. And I'm not willing to sit here and mix all of the colors because I don't want to do that. I'm just going to use the paints that I already own. Talk about squats, Josh. I could try and talk about squats. Those are the Warhammer Space Dwarves. I think they used to exist as a faction in the before times of Warhammer. Maybe like Rogue Trader or first or second edition. I don't know my Warhammer history. Uh, they used to be a thing. And then, at least in 8th and ninth edition, maybe 7th and earlier as well. Again, I only got into Warhammer around 8th edition, so I can only speak to that. But then they weren't a thing. And they were like, squats are kind of silly and dumb, so we're not going to have them in 40k anymore. But then on April Fool's Day, Games Workshop was like, ooh, trailer drop, we're going to have squats. And everybody was like, yeah, that's kind of funny and kind of dumb. And then today, they were like, actually squats are real. And they're coming back maybe to 40k. I think it was to Necromunda. I don't know. Dwarves, fantasy dwarves and fantasy elves, both. Neither have been my thing ever. I'm always kind of on the orc or monster side. Give me zombies or goblins or orcs or like werebears, other fantasy enemies. That's the thing I'm gonna choose to paint. I'm probably not gonna choose the squats. Even now, I highly doubt that I'll be painting any squats, but for those who are big fans of them, I'm glad that they're coming back to Warhammer. It seems like there's a lot of good enthusiasm for that. Should you do a Snow White squats army or a Willy Wonka squats army? That is quite the conundrum. Specifically, for the Willy Wonka one, are you talking about doing Oompa Loompa squats? And if so, are we discussing the Gene Wilder variety or the Johnny Depp variety of Willy Wonka film? These are important questions for me to have the information for before I submit my answer for the jury. But I do have thoughts on the subject. So you let me know, and then I'll give you my thoughts. Gene Wilder, correct version. Thank you. First of all, so we're starting off strong. Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka is in fact a majority of my childhood. Not to mention, you should know that I have a good affection for it, as I did paint up the what's it called? The Gobsprakk, the mouth of Mork on the giant Killabeak vulture to look like lollipops, specifically from one of the opening scenes in Willy Wonka. So yes, that is a good version. In terms of what I would choose, I think that if you do Oompa Loompa squats, which I assume is what you're going for, I could be wrong. Maybe you want to do Willy Wonka himself and all of the kids. But I'm willing to bet that Oompa Loompas is the concept there. I would be conscious of the origin of Oompa Loompas in the original Roald Dahl novel, because they're, in a word, problematic. I'd be aware of it and think about, like, if you, in your mind, consider the Oompa Loompas in the Gene Wilder version to be far enough removed from the original source material that you find that something you're comfortable with, and that's a personal decision that you will have to make. I would probably, I don't know. I'm not really, I know I'm painting like a pale orange here, but orange isn't one of my favorite colors to paint. So I probably, myself, would go with the Snow White theme, and that's mainly because I actually have a great deal of affection for Snow White as a film. It's one of my comfort movies that I return to often because I've memorized basically every line in that movie. I know a lot about the history of how it was made, And it's just one of those things that I put on when things are anxious. And, you know, it's something I enjoy going back to. Everything from before yesterday is problematic. Some things are more than others. You know, it's your level of what you are comfortable engaging with and what your associations with things are. Sometimes if I know something has a troubled history, I just choose not to participate with it anymore. Or if I learn of something's origins and I'm like, that kind of makes me uncomfortable, then it kind of makes me uncomfortable and I'm gonna avoid it or change how I interact with it or choose to, you know, not deal with it anymore. That's how I choose to approach things and what I choose to do. And it's a case-by-case basis, you know? That's just me. You gotta choose what's right for your sensibilities and your squats, you know? If they're gonna be your space dwarves, make them in the way that will bring you the most joy. Purely based on aesthetics, though, I do think Oompa Loompas are gonna be more immediately recognizable than the Seven Dwarves, because they do have a unified color palette of orange and green. And I think if you find a way to incorporate their little white overalls, it could be pretty cute. It could be pretty cute. Snow White's going to be a little bit more of an uphill battle because you're dealing with a lot of different color palettes for the different dwarves. At least if you're referencing the Disney version, which I kind of assume that you are because that's the version that's going to have the most brand recognition. It's going to have the most chance of someone kind of knowing what you're going for. So again, that's an assumption, and we know what assuming makes. Apparently, it makes a clog in our fucking Army Painter Ice Storm paint. I am using a lot of Army Painter paints for this because they are the cheaper ones. Well, they are not craft paint. They are indicative to what is cheaply available. I am squeezing the shit out of this bottle, and unlike the Scale 75 bottle, it is not exploding, which is quite nice. But it is also not giving me a lot of paint because there's a clog in it, which is not so great. I'm trying to unclog it with one of my favorite sculpting tools, which becomes, you know, a general multi-purpose tool. You're all painted out today? I know, Ghost Bear. You put in some good hours. You put in some fucking good hours on that Hulkbuster. It's really exciting to see you tackling stuff like non-metallic metal. Just really cool. I mean, every one of your Marvel Crisis Protocol minis, you seem like you challenge yourself on different skills with all of them, and it's just fun to see how they all come along. So, you know, I like seeing where it takes you. I think I'm going to dry brush some blue over this orange. There's a lot of, like, orange kind of subtly lighting and glowing shit in that opening scene. Opening screensaver of Borderlands like I was talking about earlier. And I want to make this mostly blue, because the rocks and the surface of the moon are blue. But I want to have that orange underglow as well. So we're just going to dry brush that, which is just, you know. And Party Boy is wanting to not take dry brushing well because he wants to fall off his base, which is fine. We may need to super glue him again. Party Boy may fall down. It's a risk I'm willing to take. I'm a little worried about the desaturation with that dry brush, actually, because orange and blue are mixing together into a gray. So we can't dry brush that because it'll be too subtle, which is fine. Party Boy is going to take a moment, and I'm going to glue him back on there. We'll use super glue. So we'll take a beat on that. While he gets reset on his base. Oh no, the little top fell off too. We'll glue that back as well. We'll glue that back. Everything can be fixed. Everything can be fixed. Hi Cam, by the way, welcome to the stream. Good to see you here. What are you working on today? How is your hobby going? I had a headache this morning. I'm feeling a lot better now. Hopefully, you know, we'll have some time to play Warhammer together soon. Should be good. I have super glue all over my fingers yet again. And none of it on the miniature. That is typical. The struggle. What do you guys think of the lighting, though? We have much better lighting now. That's helpful. I'm so excited about a freaking desk lamp. You have no idea. I do realize how difficult it is to buy a light bulb, though. I know there's, like, jokes about how many X does it take to screw in a light bulb. But, like, you have to buy the right fucking light bulb. And light bulb science it feels like it's just difficult. Because this was like, oh, it can only handle up to this wattage. And I just bought, you know, like a cheap lamp. And it didn't really say what size light bulb it needed. And so far, this one hasn't exploded. So I'm kind of assuming that things are going well. But I don't actually know that for a fact. The lighting is good, but you're biased. Josh, you're allowed to be biased. Again, I want to just thank you for paying for this light. So that we could get some better streaming setup going. Your contribution has made a significant difference, and I cleaned off my hobby desk earlier today and got really excited to paint because of the because I had new lighting and I wanted to see how it looked on stream and everything like that. So it's a good reason to be excited about shit. I have a good color palette for Party Boy picked out, so it's gonna be fun. We're gonna add some like pink-ish lighting too, and some deeper blues. We're gonna go pretty all out on Party Boy, just because we built him together on stream, and that means a lot to me. He's not just my monster, he's our monster. Although he is gonna live with me at my house. I feel like maybe I'll take him around to different places, like if I go to Adepticon next year, or if I go to Nova Open or anything like that, I'll bring Party Boy with me. And I can take photographs of him. And hello there, Hector. Do you think taking Party Boy with me is a good idea? Hector sure thinks so. I want daylight LEDs with 52,000-ish Kelvin. Okay. I will look into that. I did get a daylight light bulb. I didn't check the kelvins on it. I have the package right here though. We can check. You can tell me if I fucked up or if I bought the right stuff. Hang on. Hang on. Ugh. This is what I got from the dollar store. It's a daylight 120 volt, 15,000 hour, 800 lumen, estimated energy cost $1.08 per year, generic ass light bulb by Homeline. I don't think this is quite what you're after, for me in terms of what I should be using. But, you know, it's something. It's better than nothing. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, I think Party Boy could be a good little mascot. Not maybe the one that I would have intended. I probably on my own would have picked something a little bit cuter. Cuz he's kind of spooky. In a lovable way, you know. And he doesn't have any pants, and most of the stuff that I would have chose would have had pants of some sort. I suppose I could try sculpting some pants for him, or a little outfit, but I don't think that's the kind of person that Party Boy is. He's not worried about whether he's wearing pants or not. Frankly, I don't know if he owns a pair of pants. But he's our boy. Light bulbs have definitely gotten confusing. Yeah, you know. But I'm thinking now, since I have a friend who's recently joined, or at least has painted a miniature. I don't know how many goblins Adam ended up painting. But I thought I might make, like, you know, one of those intro to the hobby type videos. I know it's almost pointless because I feel like Goobertown Hobbies has a really freaking solid one. And I don't know if I have a whole lot else to add in terms of, like, what I think is good for beginners. But I might make one anyway because people are always looking for, like, getting started references. And I'm beginning to realize it's possible that as this channel grows, some people may run into this channel first, before any other painting channels. And if I have a beginner resource, that might be helpful. Could save someone some time, effort, and money. It could. Hector is interrupting me. You used two $15 lamps with like $25 bulbs. Yeah, I think this bulb was like $1, maybe $2. So definitely wasn't too expensive there. And we'll upgrade lighting as needed, you know, as time goes on. Honestly, I'm just happy to not be painting in what was basically the Underdark. You know, it's a significant upgrade. And hopefully will look good when I film things for videos as well. I'm hoping that I can just get enough blue out of that little blob on the palette to satisfy what I'll need for Party Boy. I don't think that I will, but we'll try. He won't be based off any candy, which maybe is a little bit of sacrilege if he's going to be a channel mascot, but I still like that we built him together. I think that has an aspect to it that is charming and unique. And he does have a party hat, which I guess, you know, most Chaos Spawn aren't going to have a party hat. Or at least typically do not come with party hats. That's the bits that we need, Games Workshop. You should include party hats in your build kits. It's very fun when people ask me for advice about how to get started painting, because I just respond with, like, a general amount of enthusiasm that they're even painting at all. And then it's like, well, yeah, I mean, pretty much any brand of anything that you pick up is going to be usable. I have stuff that works well for me. But there's certainly a way to use anything and everything that you come across. Like, for the fake whipped cream on stuff, I use fucking a weird, hyper-specific product for that. That's typically used for, like, decorating phone cases. There's shit out there that's gonna work for applications it was never originally designed for. I know a ton of people are sculpting with plumber's epoxy just because it's cheaper than clay, or works faster, or sets better, or whatever other myriad of reasons they have. It's really cool. And as people, pick up tools and they're like, can I use this? Will this work? It's almost always yes, but not always in the way that you initially think that it might be. Yeah, we're gonna need a little bit more blue for Party Boy. And we're gonna try and peel the dried super glue off my fingers. One day, I think that's when I will have truly made it in this hobby as, like, a professional. Not when I reach a certain amount of subscribers or anything like that, but when I can assemble a mini and not get any super glue on my fingers, that'll be it. That'll be the signal that I know what I'm doing. I think that's a good benchmark for me to reach at some point in time. Hope everybody's having a good weekend as well. I don't know what you guys may have gotten up to during your weekends, but I hope that you're taking some time for yourselves to recharge if that's something you need to do. I'm really enjoying the fact that I can sleep in. I am canceling plans if I need to because I have had... Still, I think I'm recovering from Adepticon a little bit, and sometimes when I make plans to socialize, social anxiety sets in, and it's like, hey, you can't leave the house now, and I'm like, oh, that's really freaking great. But I hope that whatever you guys are out there trying to do this weekend, you manage to accomplish it. I did accomplish, like, 3 things. I had to go to the post office. I did that. Had to buy paint, and I did that. And then there were vegetables in my fridge that were starting to seem unviable. And because I have a backyard now, I was like, you know what? Maybe instead of just tossing those, I'll see if I can harvest the root bits of these green onions and see if I can maybe plant them and see if they'll grow into anything. So I did plant them in the dirt. Out back. I'm not gonna tend to them in a good way because I don't know how to garden, but we'll see if they grow. It was one of those things I just wanted to kind of try out because I thought it would be interesting. So, I'll see if they manage to stick it out, or if they just decompose, and then at least they're not, I didn't throw them into a landfill or something. It's something. It's not a lot. But small progress day by day still counts, I think. I'm not perfect every day, but I'm trying to get better. It's also really hard to use up all of the green onions that they sell in a bundle as a single, like, individual person living in a house. It's like, yeah, this is really good on rice or as a topping for ramen or, like, in any stir-fry dishes that I'm making, but that's, like, that's 3 green onions in a week. And then you just don't make something with green onions, and then it's like, oh, shit, I have all of these, and I have no method of using them. That's not really relevant to any of the hobby shit that we're talking about. That has just plagued me. I cannot use up all of the stuff that I buy to cook with. I'm trying. It doesn't always work. We'll try again next week and maybe it'll go better. But I figure if I have them growing out in the garden, right, I can just, like, snip off a little bit anytime that I need green onions. And then I'll never run out, and I'll never have too many because they'll just be there. I guess in winter that'll be different because they'll probably die or whatever, but for a time it'll work. Right. I wish they did that as well. I mean, I don't blame them for stuff that, like, grows in a giant bunch. Like, you can't just sell a smaller cabbage because cabbage is fucking huge. That's just, you buy in cabbage, you better be prepared to either throw away three quarters of that cabbage or eat cabbage the whole week. But yeah, just sell me like 3 green onions for like 10 cents and I'd be very happy. That's all I need. I'm glad, Cam, that you and I are on the same train of thought there. Are you working on painting anything? I feel like I asked that and maybe didn't get a response from you as to whether you were or you weren't. I think last we talked, you were maybe working on Eldar, or you were working on painting up that troll for Blood Bowl, which was looking really good. I think you finished it though. I really meant to say I love the lines that you added in. The black lining looks really fucking sick on that. It's a shame that your Blood Bowl schedule, your class schedule doesn't allow you to go to the Blood Bowl games, because your team looks so cute. And I hope that you get to play some games sometime soon with them. Oh, awesome, you finished him. That's so good. You want to put your Slaanesh army together. Okay. Lots of crab claw hands. I feel like Party Boy probably knows a couple Slaanesh guys. You know, they get along. Right now, it kind of looks like he's wearing some weird, ill-fitting blue pajamas. But we can work with that. We can make that look better or worse. It'll depend. Let's see. I'm gonna try and get some darker blues in there too. I'm really painting this in just a weird, whatever the vibe kind of ends up being manner, because that's how I feel tonight. This paint has gotten a little stiff and gummy. That's not fun. That maybe the cap wasn't on that all the way, and I allowed some of that to dry out. I would never do such a silly thing as that. I always properly maintain all of my materials all of the time. That is a true fact. You'll be there for the Summer League and the tournament. Excellent. Wonderful. I will see you there. And hopefully we'll be matched to play against each other. I don't exactly know how the tournament matchups are going to be determined. Despite somehow calling myself co-captain of this Blood Bowl team, Alan handles all of the fucking logistical stuff. He's the smart one with figuring out who's playing against who and managing the tour play and all that stuff. But I will be there. So there's a chance that we will be pitted against each other. And I should, that means I should probably be painting, like, the orcs, the goblin star players and the troll for that orc team, because I think I'm gonna run my orcs for that tournament. But, we're here painting stuff that doesn't matter as much. I guess I could stick a Blood Bowl ball on this and make him a Blood Bowl player. There's got to be, like, a homebrew Chaos Blood Bowl team somewhere. Someone's done it. Someone will have done it. Blood Bowl Tabletop or Blood Bowl video game? Blood Bowl Tabletop, my local league. Yes, anybody that you play with will be kind to you. We're not going to allow any meanies into the league tournament. No bullies allowed. Some good-spirited, like, you know, oh, boo, your team scored and my team didn't kind of stuff is fine. But if anyone's legitimately mean to you, you tell me right away, and I will personally get Alan to put a stop to it. I say I will get Alan to put a stop to it because I am not intimidating, and I'll need some backup. But yeah, it'll get taken care of. You will not be bullied, and people will be tolerant. I mean, even when I played at Adepticon, where I was worried about people being assholes, because, you know, it's an official tournament, and everybody wants to do well, and stuff like that, nobody was. If there was ever any doubt about the rules, everybody resolved it amicably. There was nothing weird like that. So yeah, if it didn't happen at Adepticon, where I feared that it might happen the most, I'm certainly not gonna let any of that happen in the league that I associate with. If I can do anything about it, which I can. So yeah, no one's going to be mean to you. Everybody's just going to be there to have a fun time, toss some dice, curse our bad luck, celebrate our good luck, and play this weird, stupid game that we all kind of like. That's all that'll happen. But yeah, you just tell me if you have any problems, and I'll take care of them for you. 100%. But, you know, if you're matched against me, then all bets are off. I'm putting on the fisticuffs. And we're having us a good old Blood Bowl smackdown. Not really. I'll still be nice to you. But my werewolf may eat some of your snotlings. It is his right and prerogative to do so. I have this werewolf on my team. He's my favorite player on my Blood Bowl team. Because he scores the most touchdowns. You can name your Blood Bowl players. His name is Julian. He's just a werewolf named Julian. He's number 10 on our team. He's either number 10 or number 11. Because I put little numbers on their jerseys. But yeah, he's the best player on my team. Hands down. He's done the most for this. He's basically carrying the team in terms of how many touchdowns he scored. My team is Killer Clowns from Outer Space themed, and their team name is the Rotten Candy Roustabouts. So, I have fun. Yeah, Mercy, you're tier 3. You almost got involved in a league before the pandemic, post-pandemic, well, the league never recovered. Oh man, that sucks. Maybe see if you can ask around, like, if your local game store has any resources. Be like, hey, I'm kind of interested in Blood Bowl. Maybe I can put a league together, or do you guys know anyone? They might be able to help you out. I just kind of vaguely mentioned that I wanted to play Blood Bowl every time I was at my hobby store, and eventually they were like, yeah, there's some guy who's been trying to start a league. And I was like, oh, I should meet this guy. And then next thing I know, they were like, yeah, we're having a league. This guy set it up, so... I mean, that's how it happened for me. I didn't really do too much of the effort. All I did was continuously mention that I wanted to play Blood Bowl to these innocent staff who probably were just like, okay, whatever. So yeah. You never know. You named your players today? You named your trolls Mike and Celium, like mycelium, like mushrooms? That's pretty good. Did you decide to go with toadstools as the name of your team? I think you were considering that because they are both frog themed, and then, you know, there's obviously a lot of mushroom association with just the freaking, the guys, the goblins, the snotling, I guess snotlings by proxy, who are just like tinier goblins, get a lot of the mushroom stuff too. I think I'm probably gonna throw a wash on Party Boy. I think we're probably gonna go with Drakenhof Nightshade, cause that one's got those nice blue tones, and it'll probably tint the orange just enough that it'll still be orange, but it'll also be blue. So I think that's possibly what our next move is gonna be here. You couldn't find anything better than that? I mean, I think it's pretty good. Like, it's a solid pun. Alright, I'm gonna give that paint just a couple moments to set. And I gotta drag out. Let's see, that's gnome oil. I own too many things of gnome oil. Here's Drakenhof Nightshade. There we go. There we go. But I do have a whole new bottle of Kislev flesh, so we should be able to finish out, excuse me, the tan parts on the towel. And then we can really get into making that look like pie crust. I think I'm gonna go with some sponging methods. I really kind of gummed up the top of this. It was sort of wrecked up before and pretty scratchy. So we need to get some new whipped cream dots made, which we can actually do together now. Hopefully this hasn't all dried up. Yep, that's still viable. So for anyone wondering how I get whipped cream on some of my candy projects, it's pretty simple. I just buy this product because people are like, you could use other things, and I'm like, yeah, I could, but this is literally like $3 shipped from an Etsy store. So for that price, I'm willing to just freaking, you know, pay it, because it's not that expensive. And then I should have the little nozzle in here somewhere. Pardon me while I just root through all of my hobby materials. That can't sound nice on stream, but yeah, it's been in this bag the whole time. Yeah, but I also have like just random sprinkle things and candy bits. So maybe we'll put them on like a moon that is also made out of candy. We can find a way to put some candy into this guy as well. But yeah, you just basically screw the nozzle in. Like so. And then, yeah. So the first couple might not be good, because there was some air. And then, as though piping any sort of icing material, and some of these will come out a little bit shit. And this is an old batch, so if it's gotten a bit weird, then that's fine. That's a good one. But I'm gonna make these in just a variety of different sizes, varying the pressure with them. I will inevitably paint them white so that they look more like whipped cream and less like, you know, strawberry frosting. But I need a couple more of these for the towel. Key lime pie is known for having nice big old dollops of whipped cream on the top, so having these details really helps bring that together as a theme. But yeah, that's basically it. That'll do. And then unfortunately there is quite a bit of wastage in this because there's not really a good way to scrape the excess out of the nozzle and get it back into the bottle. So I typically just have to let it dry in the nozzle, and it dries as just a thin layer of plastic, which I'll then scrape out to make piping easier next time. But it literally takes like 4 seconds to make these, and they end up looking so good as decorations that it's a no-brainer for me to just make them whenever I need them. But if you're ever wondering how I get those, that is it. Pretty simple, pretty cut and dry. I'm just gonna set that over to the side, and that's gonna dry. So now our paint should be dry on this on Party Boy here, so we can get some Drakenhof Nightshade on him and let that dry. And I bought a bunch of crappy dollar store brushes so that I would have something to put wash on with that isn't a nice brush, because I'd been using my nice brushes for that, and wash will gum those up pretty bad. So we'll use this one. I'm hoping this won't make things too dark. I just kind of want them to look vaguely cohesive and kind of blue. And I think, yeah, this will work. This will work. Because you're still kind of getting that peachy color peeking through, which is what I wanted. If you have never used wash before, or a shade paint, that's what the Citadel ones are called. They are this magic thing that if you are not gonna focus really deeply on painting the recesses one color, and like you're not gonna do all the shading yourself, you just don't feel like you're at that stage, or you don't have brushes that have enough dexterity to get there, and like, believe me, I ain't quite there yet myself. Shade paints or washes are just like this magic substance that seeps into the crevices. If you get one that's like color tinted the way this is, it'll tint everything kind of a uniform color. It brings it all together in a nice way, and I really like them because they make all of my stupid, weird ideas come together and actually look like someone with a little bit of a brain put it together. Someone once told me that they called Nuln Oil and other popular washes talent in a can, and they aren't exactly wrong, because yeah, you can already see how much more detailed this looks just because I have a wash on seeping into the cracks and crevices and all of the details. I always slop washes on, like, you know, they're barbecue sauce on a freaking rack of ribs or some pulled pork or some shit like that, because, you know, I like how it looks. Your mileage may vary. I think it's gonna work well in all those craggy places too, so we'll hit it up with that and see how we do. I have a bunch of heinous gaps on Party Boy, but honestly, we're just gonna embrace them because he's a weird, strange monster thing, and I didn't feel like filling them. And those are 2 really fucking good reasons for me to have not addressed that problem at all. I think he looks good, though. I think he looks acceptable. He's our boy. I don't know that I'm gonna keep his claws tinted or what I'm gonna do there. I haven't quite figured that out. But I will. We'll get to the point in time where I figure that out. I think I'm gonna do some really nice neon pink on him somewhere as well. I think that'll be good. Maybe I'll give him pink claws. Just pink somewhere. I realize now with the wash that his eyes are kind of sitting crooked in his little weird chest holes, but I'm choosing to embrace that as a feature rather than see it as a flaw. It is a good thing. Party Boy has some good stuff going on here. So we're gonna wash off that brush and wait for that to dry. That's a very cool zine. Yeah, it does kind of get that Zinch effect. That model is wild. Yeah, Party Boy is a creature unto himself. He's a Chaos Spawn model, and I feel like his brother Spider-Fang, who we also created last night, is a lot more threatening. Like, I'd be way more afraid of this guy. But I love Party Boy more because he's just himself. Also, Spider-Fang is pretty hunched over, so from the tabletop, it's going to be really hard to see his details. But, not so much with Party Boy. He is ready. I also did finally prime all this Necromunda terrain. I did a shit job priming it because that's just all straight plastic. I need to re-prime this Necromunda terrain that I have. But, it is here, and I own it. I'll hit it with some more primer, probably. Hey, Destro! Nice to see you here. Welcome, welcome. Party Boy just wants to have fun. He's excited. Exactly. He's living his life. He's gonna sit there and get dry while I'm gonna throw away this old Kislev flesh because there's nothing left in it. Also, thanks to Josh's kind donation, I now have a trash can under my desk that I bought with some of the money he donated, so I don't have to get up every 3 minutes to walk to a trash can. I just have that now. It's very exciting for me, probably not as exciting as having good lighting, you know, for you guys, so that you can see what I'm painting, but it's a huge quality of life update for yours truly. And y'all care about me, so you're excited for that too. You're excited by proxy. I'm deciding for you. You can leave me a comment if you choose not to be excited about that. I'm very happy. He's got a lot of hard angles to reach that I have to get to, so I'm gonna try and get to them and not mess up too much of the paint job that I've already done. Inevitably, I will mess up some of the paint job that I already have done because I am not a perfect human being. He is not going to be a perfect Tau. But together we can work towards the greater good of him being a key lime pie Tau and me having finished one of the multitudes of Tau in the army lot that I purchased. The scary thing about my friend Adam becoming interested in mini painting is he will slowly possibly start to realize what this hobby costs, and potentially will have a grasp as to how much I may or may not have spent on Tau I may or may not have bought, which nobody ever need know. That was information that only I ever needed to witness. Some of y'all already are Warhammer addicts, so you can't judge me. But you know, my friends, They absolutely can, and they most likely will. In a nice way. They spend way too much money on video games, so I can't say that it evens out. Warhammer is the more expensive hobby, and we all know it. But what can you do? You called in from work so you can finish recovering from being sick. Normally you can't be around on Saturdays. Well, hey, today's a special Saturday. It's only getting better. I've had a really fucking good Saturday. One of my dear friends he painted his first miniature, and I started the pre-sequel game in Borderlands, and I get to just be a little robot man running around on the moon, and all the colors are really pretty. So I've been having a great time with that. I went to the post office today, and even though the lady behind the desk was the slowest at typing that I'd ever seen a post office attendant be, I got all the packages that I needed to sent out. And I didn't even impulsively buy new stamps. I have stamps that I haven't finished using. And I was like, I'm going to use the stamps that I have at home, even though the stamps at the post office they were Hot Wheels themed, like Hot Wheels cars. And one of them was a car that was also a shark. It was very, very difficult. Not really. It was slightly annoying to have to say no to that, because I really just wanted to send someone a letter and be like, look at how weird this stamp is. But I still have my Star Wars droid stamps that I'm working through. So I'm gonna go through those. And then I'll buy new stamps when I need them. You know? That's fair. You just grabbed a Thunderstrike Brotherhood Start Collecting to mix with Dominion and got paint. Nice! You had a kind of crappy Saturday, so you bought Warhammer stuff. I understand that. I've been there. I've done that. Retail therapy every now and again ain't so bad. Plus, your Stormcast are coming along really great. I really like the gold and red color scheme that you've got going with them. And I think you've mixed like a steel gray or like a little bit of black or something in there as well, just for some variety. And it's looking really good. They're going to be a beautiful army when you finish them. And I'm excited to see how it kind of develops as you go along. So I know you'll keep posting photos of them. You always do. And you always show me what you've worked on during a stream, which I really love to see. And I'm very thankful that you do that, because I like knowing what other people work on while I'm painting. It's kind of cool. It's like we're almost all sitting at the same painting desk, even though we're separated by miles and time zones and COVID restrictions and everything else. You totaled up how much you spent on Marvel Crisis Protocol, then immediately burned that information from your mind. Jeremy, that was the correct decision to make. I don't think I want to think about how much I've spent on Warhammer. So I don't most of the time. I mean, I manage my own finances, and I'm not in any debt that isn't, student debt that's been, everybody fucking has student debt. It's nothing that I can't make I pay all my bills, basically, is what I'm saying. But then I also buy Warhammer because it's my hobby, so. Or Warhammer or other miniatures. I have so many other miniatures from other companies that I love to paint. So it's not just Warhammer. It's miniature painting as a whole that I'm addicted to. I'm really excited for that dumbass Necromunda Ash Waste box to come out. I just think those bug guys are so cool. I don't need them. I don't even play Necromunda. I'm fucking gonna buy those guys, hopefully, if the box isn't like $4 million. We bought D&D shirts today. And lamps. Hey, we both bought lamps today. Look at that. Oh, that's awesome, Cam. I didn't know your school had a wargaming club. That's pretty cool. Tell G congratulations on their victory. Beating other teams with overlords sounds really fun. I think they were working or wanting to build up their overlords army a little bit more. So I hope they have, or they get soon, the resources to do that. Overlords, the aesthetic of like airships and stuff like that seems pretty fun. I love a good airship. I've been tempted just to like get some of the Overlord's airships because I want to build this like massive sky spaceport kind of thing, like from Treasure Planet basically. But I'd love to run like a really intense D&D Eberron campaign someday. And I want to build like a nice spaceport that I can also use as wargaming terrain. And I like having those ships, I think would be pretty cool. I need this towel to dry for a couple of minutes because I think I'm going to do the bottom of his feet in tan as well. So we'll just grab, I feel like one of those cooking shows and it's like, well, I'll just grab the towel that I prepared earlier and work on him. Doop. He's gonna sit over there. You helped start it? Nice. They bought an eBay lot on impulse, so they've got some of those resources. Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out the best way to film while also having this lamp, so it's gonna be a little bit of a process while I figure out where the camera should go and what's a good spot for it to sit in. And also, you know, try not to hunch over a painting desk. A frequent problem of mine is doing that. Do I have good posture while painting? Absolutely not. Absolutely the fuck not. I'm glad they found a good lot on eBay. Sometimes you can find some really good steals. I've been telling myself not to even browse for corn armies because, you know, I'm not starting a corn army. Not until this Tau one is finished anyhow. So I need to not even look at what's available because I'll get tempted and then I'll just be like, well, it's a really good deal and it's gonna sell if I don't buy it, so I need to jump on it. There's always gonna be another deal, Fives. There will be another lot, another army, another opportunity to acquire the things that you want. So you don't have to jump on it right away. You should finish and enjoy your Tau, and then you can get corn demons afterwards. Or midway through. You know, so you have a few projects to flip between. I find that's helpful too. Like, as much as I was dedicated to finishing my Cruel Boys army, if there was ever a day where I was like, you know what? I'm really not feeling orcs today. I had a few other things that I could work on. Variety is not only the spice of life, it is the thing that keeps me painting when I have painted too much of the same thing. That wasn't really a good sentence, but I think the meaning behind it was solid. At some point, I also know that I'm going to have to go over there, and I'm going to have to take all those towel that need to be fixed, or need extra parts, or stuff like that. I'm going to have to fucking fix them. And that's going to be a day. That's not going to be a fun day for me. I'm just going to be covered in different bits of towel, crying as I attempt to assemble them. That's a future project, though. That's not a now project, I don't think. I'm really impressed with how well this works. Like, this Kislev flesh color is just the perfect base coat for what's going to be built up into some really great graham cracker crust for this pie. I don't quite know where to put the whipped cream on this guy. Like, I don't think it'll fit on the head, so it might have to go on his little zippy zappy air vent pack thingy do. That's the technical term for sure of whatever that is. I always forget, and I'm forgetting now yet again, that Tau are not robots. They are aliens in battle suits. But I keep thinking that they're robots. I don't know when I'll stop thinking that they're robots. Surely a day will come when I will think that, but today sure as fuck ain't that day. It's nice to see all this green covered up as well, because that was the original like color that it was primed with, you know, for the previous work in progress. And having it be the bright green and the dark green, it's like a mood for sure. Like, it's not a bad mood, but it is a different mood than the one that I'm going for. I did actually reach out to Tyler a few days ago, Tyler Russo of $1 Billion Clown Farm, who sold me this Tau Watt, and I told him that I was going to do them up as a key lime pie Tau army, and I showed him how the test model had gone. He said he liked it, so at least, you know, like, the changing legacy of this Tau army is approved by the original owner of the Tau army. That wasn't necessarily like something that had to be approved, or I had to like feel like, you know, this is good and this is something that that the original owner would be okay with, because, you know, in the end, at the end of the day, they're my army, and I'm cool to do what I want with them. But to know that I have that approval is pretty cool, actually. Or just someone who's like, yeah, that's a fun idea for a Tau army. I think it's gonna be cool. Key lime pie is so good, and it's almost criminal that I'm going to be painting this army of key lime pie Tau, and I don't have just a key lime pie on call in my fridge for whenever I need it. Maybe I can solve that problem. Maybe I will go to the store someday soon, just get a pie and eat some of it when I work on my army. We'll see. I think we're gonna make his helmet be mostly made out of pie crust. We'll see if that looks good. If it looks dumb, we'll change it. But we're gonna hope, we're gonna collectively believe together that it's gonna look good. And our collective belief, much like it works for the orcs, will manifest for me tonight in this looking correct. And, like, you know, I've smudged it in some places, and there's some cleanup that needs to be done. And that's fine. That's a natural part of any hobby project for me. I'm not worried about that. I'll get that picked up when I need to. I know there are some folks who will stop, clean up their miniature immediately, and then return to base coating. With base coating for me, I don't bother. There's so much that's going to be fixed by highlights or fixed by a wash or something else, or I'm going to need to do a second layer of the base coat, that until I've finished the base coat, there's just no point in going back and trying to fix things. I will inevitably be making more mistakes. That is part of the hobby process, and I'm not gonna waste my time trying to correct it right now. I don't know how I'm gonna paint that tiny little Tau inside of the head. I love that I can lift up the head and that there is a tiny little Tau in there. I think that's really charming, but I honestly don't know that I'm actually going to paint him, because I can't see myself having taken the time to reach in there and really get a good feel for him. I might. I'm not saying that I won't do it. I could do it, and there may come a day when I want to, but I think I probably won't, at least initially, just because, you know, things gotta get finished, and that's like an extra detail that I won't necessarily have to bother with unless I want to, and I can cover it pretty dang easily by just, you know, bending that helmet down a little bit. But then it's like a little surprise for anybody who gets to interact with the model. You open it up and surprise, there's a Tau. I was surprised. I opened and closed that visor like 6 million times. I thought it was the funnest thing. I still do. Which is kind of why I want to paint him a little bit. Like, I do think it's cute. I think it's such a fun detail. So we'll see. We'll see about that. Yeah, the frozen one I got last time I was at the store is so cloyingly oversweet that it's not even, it's just not good. I gotta try a different brand. I think this one was like Edwards. Edwards was the brand, and it was far too sweet for me, so I bet Marie Callender's does a decent one. Most of the pies that I've had from that brand are pretty okay. I just need to go to the, I think I've had, the best key lime pie that I've had is from a specific, like, in grocery store bakery. They do the key lime pie. So that one's pretty good. If I could pick up one of those, I'd be pretty satisfied. It's just not the grocery store that I'm nearest to, so it's usually like not something I'm gonna make a special trip for. But we'll see. It wouldn't be the end of the world to just stop in, get a little bit of key lime pie. The one you get is actually not too sweet, but you don't know if you can get it in the States because it's the store brand for Real Canadian Superstore. That sounds, first of all, extremely Canadian, and second of all, definitely not something that we have in the States, at least in my part of the States. Maybe like closer to Canada, they might have a few, but not in my neck of the woods. We ain't got that. Real Canadian Superstore. Such a fun name. It's aggressively Canadian, which is great. I feel like there are a lot of places that are aggressively American, so it's nice to know that there is a Canadian, like, counterpoint to that. Counterpoint doesn't feel... Equivalent is probably the better terminology there, but... Probably going to pick out some of those panels, and I might do them in the pie crust color as well. We'll see how that kind of goes along. But I'm liking how the balance of bright lime green to pie crust color is looking so far. I think we've got a good ratio of it. And we can introduce some silver metallic as the pie tin as an accent color. And then obviously the Tau symbols are typically done in white, which I think will work out fine as like a whipped cream kind of accent. And then these big circles, these like semicircles, I want to try and paint them up to look like limes everywhere that they are, and that'll really drive home the key lime point. But I need to kind of practice at that and get a key lime pie pattern that I can replicate easily for the segments and that I'm satisfied with. So that's something that we've got to work on. It's going to be the equivalent of when I just fucking throw checkers on everything. If there's not some needless freehand somewhere, is it really a project that I did? Well, I'm glad their products are good. You know, that's what you want from a product, really, for it to be good. It's pretty much the one thing that it needs to do well. It's function for its purpose. If it is a pie, it should be a good pie. Just have to raise the camera. Sorry if that obscures some of the detail, but I keep hitting it with the end of the paintbrush, so it's a little difficult. This guy's kind of a tall boy, so it's natural. I don't even want to know what it's gonna be like when I have to paint the storm surge. That's gonna be a project and a half, and I'm not ready for it at all. Hi, Hector. I checked and made sure that you had food and water before the stream began, so you should be good, my dude. You should be good, my dude. Yeah. He's gonna argue with me because he wants attention. But what else is new? It would be weird if he didn't want attention. It would be. You were staring at the door earlier today, like you were waiting for a package from the mailman to come. Did you buy something online with my credit card, Heck? He's a cat. He cannot buy anything. You can try, I mean, for sure, but I don't think you've committed credit card fraud just yet, bro. Thus far, your attempts have been unsuccessful. Maybe he's just staring at the ghost that definitely doesn't live in my house. Is that it? Yeah? Mm-hmm. Baby. Don't claw at the chair. Yeah. You're so baby. So baby. Ooh, lemon bars sound good, Cam. You should make some, and then you should let me have some. I would like a lemon bar, please. Your favorite part is that they have to emphasize the real part of the superstore. Like there's a fake. Yeah. I like that too. I feel like that's a good part of their name is that it's real Canadian superstore. Not like those fake Canadian superstores. You can't see it right now because it's off camera, but Hector is trying to climb up between my, like, I'm sitting cross-legged on this chair, and he's just down there trying to crawl up and cause chaos and sow discord and be a little menace to society. You're a very cute menace, but you are a menace, sir. You are. It's very difficult to paint knowing that you could crawl up at any time and you will try and claw at my leg because you are a menace to society. Specifically, the society that I have created of people who watch my streams. You menace them by threatening to make me mess up all of my paint jobs. Quit the hobby altogether. Just kidding. I'd never do that. I enjoy this hobby far too much. But if you have a pet cat, you know that sometimes they just want to mess with everything. He's wandered off to go do important kitten business elsewhere. But he'll be back. I have almost no doubt of that. Yep, because here he is, coming right back. Yep. Mm-hmm. I hear you, buddy. He is once again distressed because this is usually the time where I go to bed. But it is the weekend, Hector, and I can go to bed whenever I want, so... He is now hopped up onto the back of the chair. Don't know what your plan is there, bud. You can see that I'm making quite a few more mistakes in trying to keep this paint within the lines because there is a Hector looming above me, watching my every move. Thank you for that supervision, bud. He is perfect. Yes, that is correct. I don't know what Sobeys is, Spakiko. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I hadn't seen you there, so hopefully you are having a nice night. Let me know what you're working on. I hope you're having a good weekend. All those pleasantries. Insert JJ Jameson. A few rabbits over the years. Little nightmare destruction fluffs. Not at the moment, though. That's fair. It's fair. Rabbits seem like the wrong pet type for me, because they seem like they also have anxiety. And I feel like if I got a rabbit, we would just feed off each other's anxiety until the end of time. And it would not be good for me or for the rabbit. They do look really cute, though, and I do think that people who have them, who care for them adequately and are not just like, oh, I'm gonna give my child a pet rabbit for Easter, that's pretty cool. They're angry? They want to kick your ass? Damn, okay. That is Lobster meowing. Hi, baby. Did you see that Hector was getting some attention and now you want some too? That does not give you the right to claw my leg either, baby. Just because you want attention does not mean you can be violent. We've been through this before. I know you don't understand English and are just baby. Look at you. Look at you, little baby man. Get your claws off my leg. You're very sweet and very cute, but you can just meow for attention. You don't have to claw as well. You know that, right? Cats act like they've never had a cuddle a day in their life. I need to get one of the rabbits that hang around the casino because there's so many people around that these rabbits no longer give a heck. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty well-adjusted, or desensitized or well-adjusted, I couldn't say. But perhaps a socialized rabbit. Your casino has rabbits? Or are they like the wild rabbits that live around the casino? Probably makes more sense for them to be the wild rabbits that live around the casino. It's been a good Saturday for you. Got to have the elusive date night with your partner. Tommy was feeling off, so she's resting, and you're basing the ogre guys from Curse City. Sorry to hear that. I hope that she feels better soon. I'm glad that it was good. It was a good elusive date night while it lasted. I hope that she feels better and that you get some good hobby hours in. I had a lot of fun when I painted up my Curse City set. So I hope it brings you a similar amount of joy as mine brought me. I did get the first run of the Curse City product too, which, you know, it doesn't make a difference now, but definitely was, you know, one of those GW scandals that people love to go on about. I hope that, you know, they're making it seem like they never decided, oh, hey, this was actually limited time only and we're not going to support it. Because now they're just like, it's back and we were always intending to support it and make additional content for this. And it's like, oh, that's gaslighting probably. That's maybe not so great. I'm adding in this silver bit here to kind of be reminiscent of the pie plate. I always buy key lime pies. I've never made like a super fresh one from scratch, so I associate the little like disposable aluminum foil pie plates with key lime pie. The two go hand in hand for me. They're wild, they just live in the area. Okay. In regards to those rabbits, that makes sense. That makes sense. And you're saying that Sobeys is a local grocery spot. Okay, fair enough. I think they did intend to support it, and then had issues with the printing and sourcing, and they just handled it badly. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. It's one of those things that left a bad taste in people's mouths, so to speak. I still think Curse City is really cool to look at, and I hope that someone will actually want to play the board game with me someday. Because I do have it all finished and painted up. I just don't know how to play it because I'm not good at reading the rules and understanding what they mean. And, you know, actually, Cam, maybe you and me and G can all play Curse City at some point. Probably between the three of us, we can figure out the rules. That could work. I could see that happening. That could be fun. You need to paint yours. It's in the pile. Yeah, I don't know. I did think it was funny that, like, they called some of their vampires the Bloodborne. And I'm like, Bloodborne is a video game, my dude. Like, it's right there in the title of that video game. But ironically, I don't think that was the part that they potentially had legal trouble with. So, who knows? I'm trying to be very sparing with the parts that I pick out to be silver. I do not want a lot of silver on this. I want it to be almost negligible. I depressed down on his head, and it looks like he was nodding in agreement with me that there should be very little silver on this miniature. That's funny. I think I'll do these panels and then maybe something on his, like, backpack thing that he has, and that'll be all of the silver detail on this guy. Probably. Yeah, I would think so, Cam. I think so. Do a midwinter mini style speed paint series on it. It's not topical anymore, but it's also available again. Yeah, I think that would be cool. For my favorite videos from you, Destro, are always the kitbashy diorama sort of ones where you're either teaching me how to build terrain out of garbage, or you're like, I have this really old crusty model lying around. I'm gonna use it in this scene. I love seeing how those come to life. So anytime you do one of those, I'm like, oh yeah, that's some good Realm of the Lich King content right there. But if you get into the speed painting, I'll check that out. I'll see how that goes. You've started making lemon bars? Cam, okay. Give me one, please. I'll forgive you for being sparse if I get a lemon bar out of it. Hector also requests a lemon bar. I don't know if you can hear him meowing from far away, but he would like to request one too. However, he cannot have them because I'm pretty sure cats aren't supposed to have most of the stuff that goes into a lemon bar. Was the Loot Demons trumped a line with Blizzard Activision, but it was never sustained. Huh, interesting. The Loot Demons don't seem like anything, you know, particular, I guess is the word. Like, they seem pretty generic to me. Just kind of like a little gargoyle man. That seems a really but yeah, who knows? Who knows? Yeah, online recipes for stuff is always like, if you're feeding a family of 28, this is the perfect quantity for you. If you're not, just divide everything in this recipe by 16. I'm like, ma'am, I never once did math in my life. I will simply cook as though I am cooking for a family of 28, and then I will, you know, try to hoist this off onto friends later. That's how baking goes. It's pretty cool that you're baking while listening to a painting stream, because often before I did streaming and had like a YouTube channel, or when I just feel like painting for my own free time, one of the things I frequently listen to as like background noise is Great British Bake Off. Love Great British Bake Off. That's fair. That's fair. I'm so bad at eating leftovers because I get so sick of eating the same thing. I'm like, I would rather die than eat the same dinner for four days in a row. So I try to make only a reasonable quantity, and then I'll save, like, if I have extra, which does happen, I will put it in the fridge for lunch the next day or two. That's about all I can do. I've never been good at like the whole meal prep, stock up, do this for like 6 days sort of thing. Maybe I should give it a proper go. I don't know that I ever have, but I feel like I'd just be like, but what if I'm not really feeling like eating chicken and rice today? I think that's good in terms of how much silver I put on here. I think I'm satisfied with how many silver accents we have. If I decide in the future that I'm not, I will simply go back and add more in. But I think that is the color blocking, you know, the basic idea of what's going to be where done on Ghost Keel, which is really cool to see. It's nice to see how, like, there is a difference between what is on the small guy and what is on the big guy, but, like, they're cohesive and they fit together. They look like they belong on the same team. My team, the best team, that's not accurate because I'm not great at Warhammer, but I can learn and get better over time. And I also don't remember how to play 40k, so that could present its own separate issue, but we're gonna figure it out. I did decide that I wanted to do silver feet for this guy, because that'll look like the bottom dish part of pie plate. You know what it'll look like the aluminum thing. That's what I'm saying. But once he's got that blocked in, I think he'll be done in terms of color blocking as well. Actually, no, I still have to decide what color glowies he's gonna have on his little backpack. Ugh. You had to buy a bigger pot for one of your recipes because the biggest pot you had was not sufficient. And you've got some sort of like 20-liter IKEA monstrosity. Oh my goodness. trying to get his little feet. It's a little hard with that stand in the way. And then I remember I can remove the stand. Sorry, I'm shut up a little bit just because I'm focusing on trying to make this not look like shit. Really a little nervous about the metallics on here. I think it's looking fine. It's going well, but it's a little bit of a trouble spot here where honestly I could since the feet on this model are metallic, there's a part of me that's like, if you had just not been a dummy, you could scrape the paint away, and there's authentic, real metal under there that's going to be way better than any true metallic metal you slap on. But then it's also like, yeah, but the point is to paint the miniature, not to strategically wipe away the paint so that the metal beneath is revealed. I don't think that's really a thing, so... We're gonna not do that, because that's not what we're doing, you know? Oh yeah, I think the metal feet is a good look. And I'm gonna paint the underside of the feet, metallic as well. Just because, you know, no one's gonna see him, and he's gonna be glued down to a base eventually, sure. But I'm gonna know that they're there. I think he should have little sparkly feet. Little sparkly shoes. Tau kind of have like hoofed feet, if I recall, so like horses have shoes, right? That's a thing. I'm not very equestrian. We must create the illusion of metal. Exactly. I have to paint the metal with metal. Which is really what you're doing, because, you know, the tiny little shiny things that make the paint shiny, I think they're made out of metal to some degree, or of a fashion. So it's like, yep, in order to make my metal mini look metal... Hey, phew! Excuse me. Hey, phew! Oh, those are some sneezes. In order to make it look, mica, yeah, mica flakes. In order to make it look metal, like, I gotta paint it, so. But yeah, there's the commander guy. He looks like that. And the ghost keel is looking real good. I'm really happy with how that's coming along. They're starting, the vision is starting to be there, you know? It's starting to not just look like arbitrary choices. It's starting to look like this is a color scheme. This is coming together. Let's see. Party Boy, I think I really need to paint his eyes in soon, because he's kind of creeping me out. There, so we'll paint his eyes in. I've got either Drake Tooth or Drake Tooth Slider, so we'll put that one. Oh, that was way too much. Fuck. Oh well. That's fine. Oh, and I have, for painting eyeballs, I picked up a new paintbrush. This is my very nice scale color paintbrush that I bought at Adepticon. specifically just for doing small details. I wanted something that was quality and that I intended to take care of more so than my regular brushes, which I often do not take care of at all. So this is my special fancy brush. And it works really good for details, and I honestly love painting with it, and I kind of regret not buying a full set of brushes, because it's nice to have nice things, especially, you know, tools that I'm gonna use on just about every project. But I don't take care of my average brushes that well, so I figured if I just got one and kind of committed to trying to care for it, that would be better than buying a whole set. So I've got one really nice brush, and yeah, it works really good for eyes and stuff like that. Probably get the teeth painted in too. It's got this weird lamprey mouth. But I love working with this brush. I've only had it for a short time. But it's, don't tell the other brushes, but it's my favorite. As much good work you can get done with, you know, dollar store brushes or cheap brushes, having this bad boy is it's really nice too. So he's just gonna do those details, and then he's gonna go back to the brush caverns. There's magnets on the bottom of this base. I didn't know that. Apparently those bases are already magnetized, so that's cool. Don't ask me what the fuck is mica or what is what. I'm not smart about paint science, so I don't really know. I could not be the one to tell you these things. It is not knowledge that I am privy to. I think for some of the detail, I remember from some of the Borderlands screens, there was like this nice teal color. So I might try, we might see if we can get a scale 75 bottle to work. I don't actually have, I have a thumbtack that could probably work to puncture that. Nope, that's just gonna pull the cap out. What can I say, scale 75? I like your paint, I hate your bottles. This has historically not gone well for me with this particular company. I feel like I'm gonna give it the lightest little tap to get the paint to come out. And, oh, okay. Okay. So the bottle, the cap didn't go flying off everywhere. That's good. We had some struggles before. The chat is now going to debate what a metal is and what a metal isn't. I'm going to stay out of that. I'm not a scientist. I don't know shit about the periodic table of elements. I'm not a chemist. I don't know shit about anything. Y'all can fight that one out. I'll side with whoever comes out on top. Got some weird like fur going on that I figured I'd just do in this same teal color as the feathers, so that'll hopefully look decent. And then I'm gonna add a bunch of pink. Edge highlighting, I think, will be the final thing that kind of brings it together into that Borderlands world. I do like how the heavy wash kind of gave it a lot of that black lining that I was looking for, so that's really helpful. I didn't have to work and do that myself, though the wash took care of that for me. I just have to sort of preserve the work that it did by not painting in stuff all the way, and I think I can manage that. The evolution of Party Boy. He's gonna be done soon. I didn't expect him to paint up quite so quickly, but that's kind of fun. So much of my stuff is like, this color scheme has to work for an entire army, and it also has to look good as a single model, and you have to develop a way to paint this, you know, repetitively, model after model, scheme after scheme. And it's gotta work for every different type in your army. Being able to just be like, I'm just gonna make this one single guy look cool, that's a lot of fun. Maybe I'll paint up his brother to look the same, or like in a similar color scheme, or I'll find another part of the Borderlands game that I really like and just try and copy that. Yeah. I think we're done with pie robots for the night, because I don't necessarily want to get started on the freehand elements for them or some of the other things. This blue guy, he's named Party Boy by me, because that name seems to suit him. We built him together last night on stream. People helped me choose parts and stuff like that. So, I like to say that Party Boy is not just my creation, he's our creation. He's our weirdo. He has these weird, like, hooves for feet, so I'm gonna try and give them a nice striated texture. I think that's how you say it. Striated? Striated? You know, whatever is just painting little tiny lines instead of, like, a defined solid color block. Real creatures have striations in real life. They're not usually this peachy color, though, I don't think. But I think it looks good. It's fun. Has a nice bit of pop to it. Silicon is an element on the line between metal and non-metal. Silicone is a plastic. Yeah, So Party Boy is this dancing guy. I guess the actual model that he is a Chaos Spawn. That's the kit that he was built from. Um, I won the Chaos Spawn kit because my army won Best Painted in our local Escalation League. Of all the armies that participated, the judges decided that mine was the one whose paint job they liked the most. And I have to tell you guys, that means a lot because I started that army back before a lot of stuff in my life changed for the worse. And when I decided to get a Cruel Boys army, I had goals in mind for them. I wanted to make them my Escalation League army. I wanted not just to compete in the Best Painted contest, but I wanted to win. Like, I rarely set myself ambitious goals, but I was like, this is a small enough pool of people playing that I honestly stand a chance. Maybe not a good chance, maybe not the best chance, but I stand a chance of being able to win. So I set that goal, and then I was like, and I want to play this army at Adepticon because I was planning to go at the time. And these were all goals that I set before a lot of stuff happened, and I think if I hadn't set those goals, I may have given up, but I didn't want all the things that I went through to kind of win out in the end over the goals that I had set. But, like, if I hadn't been able to do all the stuff I wanted to, it would have also been okay. And, like, the judges had to... I had no control beyond, obviously, putting in the work and painting my minis to the best of my ability. But, like, in the end, what the judges choose is the judges choose. I can meet the goal of having my army painted. I can bring them to Adepticon. But I can't make a judge choose my entry aside from other entries. Like, the one they like the best is the one they like the best. But I met every single one of those goals with my Cruel Boys army. I did win Best Painted. I did finish painting them for the Escalation League. I did take them to Adepticon. Everything that I had set out to do, despite moving houses and a vastly changed life situation, it all happened. So that's really important to me. And winning, like, it didn't even matter what prize I won. It happened to be a pack of Chaos Spawn. So Party Boy is really just a triumph of that. A memento of the fact that I wanted to do something, and I did it. I'm not always the best at making ambitious goals and seeing them through. I've often caught myself saying that ambition is the enemy of success because I feel like if I just put in a mediocre effort, at least I won't disappoint myself. But no, this time I really went for it, and I actually got what I set out for. That doesn't happen for me all too often, so I'm really pleased by it. Chemistry heresy. Party Boy is an icon. Yes, I agree. 100%. He's iconic. Destro, that's a lot of PhDs. School in America is expensive. We can't afford to get that many PhDs, okay? You can't ask that of us. We have to complain, and we can't afford to pay for the expertise. You're gonna have to accept what you get. Hi, Keegan. I don't think I saw you there before. Yeah, it's true. I've been very surprised about what I'm capable of. And, I'm happy that I have my army. that Cruel Boys army is the first 2,000 point army I ever finished painting. I think a lot of people do not ever succeed in that goal throughout their Warhammer journey, and honestly, seeing them all painted up, rank and file on the table, looking exactly the way that I wanted them to, it just made me want to paint more armies, because it's really satisfying to see everybody all lined up. May have been why I purchased some Tau, even though it would have made sense to purchase a new Age of Sigmar army. But it's fine. Tau are really cool. I don't know what color we should make Party Boy's party hat. That feels like an important decision that maybe I'm not ready for right now. Well, that's been about our typical 2 hours. We painted some key lime pie Tau. We got Party Boy further along. We tested out the awesome new lighting. Like, look at the difference. This is without a lamp. This is what we've been working with. This is what you usually see. It's dark. It's not easy to see the detail for me, but then whoop. Amazing. Light, detail, color, probably weird shadows from my hands. I actually don't know if on camera it shows up as big of a difference as it really makes in real life. I probably have to adjust some settings or some shit like that. I haven't played with it just yet because I'm still figuring out all this YouTube hobbying stuff. You'd think after all these streams I'd be a little bit better about it, but you win some, you lose some, you try your best. You make a beautiful party boy for all of your friends to see and admire. There he is. There he is. There's the lad. So, I think this is where I'm going to call it for tonight. I hope that whatever hobby projects you're working on, you have a great time with them. And then, you know, I'll be in the Discord server if you ever want to hang out. If you have anything that you painted on stream that you want me to see, please post it in there. I'd love to see it, and I'll probably comment on it before too long because I'm pretty active over there. All right, but until then, have a good one.